meet the team first for the Portsmouth partnership will be the
Coming to you live from Portsmouth, Virginia and Churchland High School on this Friday night in April. It's the 71st Annual Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament, airing on Prep Spin and WGNT TV across Hampton Roads. We thank all of you watching in the Tidewater market and beyond, nationwide and worldwide. Alongside James Blackburn, I'm Matthew Hatfield. Our matchup tonight in the semifinals of the 71st Annual PIT, featuring in the white uniforms K&D Landscape Services and Portsmouth Partnership in the orange jerseys. We'll give you the starting lineups here in a moment. James, this should be a fun one as both of these teams prevailed in their opener. Portsmouth Partnership 101-94 over Norfolk Sports Club, while K&D Rounds Landscape Services prevailed 74-73 over Sales Systems on Wednesday, despite coughing up a 23-point lead. The guy with the basketball right there, number 4 in white, Sean Padula, the Ole Miss guard, 6'1", product from Edmond, Oklahoma. Step back three at the shot clock buzzer, a big reason why with the 2 free throws to win it, and he starts off the game with our first hoop.
And that's what Sean Padula does. He hit a ton of those shots in game one to get the win, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the guard matchup, Matt, between Sean Padula in the white and Ace Baldwin Jr. from Penn State. That's him with the ball right there with the left. He didn't go, but those two can really fill it up in the scoring column. Ace Baldwin can use the pick and roll effectively, and that's just going to be a good one.
David Gasson helping keep that possession alive with an offensive rebound, and it's a hoop and a harm to make it a 1-point game, chance to tie it up here early on, as David Gasson was a factor on that sequence, scoring it. The young man that's 6'9", 220 pounds, played at Kansas State, actually started out at Virginia Tech like Padula did. Ironic that Virginia Tech transfers score to start this game on each side, and he completes the old-fashioned 3-point play with the and one there. So we are knotted up at 3 apiece. Let's give the starting lineups. In white, you see Padula, the 6'1 guard, wearing number 4. Number 2 is Nolan Hickman, a 6'3 guard from Gonzaga. Number 10, Dayton forward Nate Santos. He checks in at 6'7", 215 pounds, out of Illinois. You have number 20, Jonas Adu, who started out at Tennessee but finished up at Arkansas, the 6'11 center from Durham, North Carolina. And that rounds out the lineup when you throw in 6'5 guard Chase Hunter, he of Clemson fame, an Atlanta, Georgia product, wearing number 11. So Hickman, Padula, Santos, Hunter, and Adu. We've got a foul on the other side of the floor for Portsmouth Partnership in the orange. Ace Baldwin, who James just spoke about, number 4, the 6'1 guard from Baltimore, Maryland, who started out at VCU, concluded at Penn State. 6'4 guard from Tennessee, Jemai Meshack, wearing number 10. Number 12, Kansas guard Zeke Mayo. He checks in at 6'4", 185 pounds. Number 20, David Gasson. We touched on him. And number 33, Umar Ballo with the basketball right there. The 7'1 center with the sweet baby hook shot, James. He from Mali. Started out at Gonzaga, 3 years at Arizona, and played for the Indiana Hoosiers and Mike Woodson this past year.
Yeah, Ballo is a load. He had a couple rim-rattling dunks in game 1. I thought the basket was coming down a couple of times, so look for him to just be a force inside. He gets great position like he did right here, and down there, all you could hope that he does is miss, because you can't do a whole lot about that.
A little baseline teardrop from Hickman is answered by Ballo's second field goal of the night. It's a 7-5 lead in the early going for Portsmouth Partnership. Portsmouth Partnership is coached by Evan Key, who was the head coach at Randolph College, Eric Johnson of Grassfield High School, basketball coach in Chesapeake, and Dominic Johnson. And for K&D Rounds Landscape Services, Jim Markey, former Norfolk Collegiate boys basketball coach, has been coaching at the PIT for several years now. Chris Furman, who is the boys basketball coach at Portsmouth Christian, and Dion Thompson. Padula's long-range attempt won't go down. The rebound cleared by David Gasson. And now they try to go to Ballo, who looks to save it, and he's going to go out of bounds. Looked like he was trying to call for a timeout, but the official did not award it to him, so it will be K&D Rounds basketball.
Yeah, I've got to look at my new rule sheet to see if that's even allowed this year. They've changed up the rules, got some new NBA-type rules, so I'm not sure if you are allowed to take a timeout while jumping out of bounds.
Long-range attempt is missed. Meshack with the board. And we've got another whistle.
Couple of the NBA scouts saw their light flash before their eyes when Ballo was maybe going to save that errant pass there. But yeah, Ace Baldwin Jr., the young man that made that pass, he's a great passer, really, really low turnover rate for how many minutes he plays. Now he's earned himself a chance to get a couple on the easy way at the stripe.
Baldwin, who was 2-time Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, as well as 2023 A-10 Defensive Player of the Year when he played at VCU before going to Penn State in that win over Norfolk Sports Club. 10 points, 11 assists, and 4 steals just 2 nights ago as he hits the first of 2 free throws. Yeah,
really good defender, like you said. He's got active hands, can play the pick and roll. One of the true pick and roll players, that are in this event. You see a lot of guys that could go the combo, like Padula right here. But Baldwin is a one. That's what he likes to do. He likes to orchestrate and set guys up.
Here's Padula with the left hand, stops his dribble in the mid-range area. Now with the Rockets, Chase Hunter. Chase had a couple of early shots that didn't cool off considerably in the win, and that's a backcourt violation with Baldwin's defense just really cutting off his airspace, not letting him breathe freely as we watch it again here. Baldwin picking him up, basically gets those 2 hands near him, and you see he does go on the
good call by the official to see that being in the right position. So see a little early floppy set here for Portsmouth. Gets an open 3 out of it for Zeke Mayo. That's what he does. He's a over 40% three-point shooter during his time at Kansas. He could splash him in.
Zeke Mayo with the touch, and he certainly had some big games for the Jayhawks after starting off with their Jackrabbits of South Dakota State. Face-up jumper along the baseline won't go down for Zach Fremantle, who's checked in the game, number 22 on your screen, the 6'9" forward from Xavier out of Teaneck, New Jersey. There with the Rockets, Jemai Meshack. Fontana, California product going right to the basket. Can't get the finish. Rebounded inside by Nate Santos of Dayton. Now here's Ole Miss's Padula. Won't get the finish, but there's Fremantle from Xavier with the stick back to cut it to 5.
We've seen a lot of end-to-end action this week, Matt, where guys are just having a little hard time finishing inside the paint with a lot of physicality, and that's something they're going to have to get used to at the next level.
Steal by Padula, almost taken back right away from Mayo. However, they'll pull it back to the corner. Three-point shot attempt is up and good for Nate Santos, who knocks it down from distance. He was just 16 of 81 from three at Pitt, James, but he worked on it at Dayton and became a better shooter with 122 makes from deep over the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, Nate Santos, one of my favorite players here at Portsmouth, doesn't need the ball in his hands to be effective. Defends multiple positions, great rebounder, really good shooter for multiple spots, and he's one of the big reasons that K&D's is in this game. Great pass there from Santos, too.
Alley-oop, Santos to Fremantle. It's a Dayton flyer to the Xavier Musketeer, but that time it was the Musketeer who was flying.
I love it, yep. Fremantle doing a good job running to the rim, gets rewarded.
In the blink of an eye, we're tied at 12. Long-range attempt won't go. Mashak moves the basketball over to Paul. When he thought about a three, gets the screen from Gasson. Head fake from David. One dribble. He's blocked from behind by Fremantle. Fremantle was a part of a major comeback in the first 4 for Xavier against Texas in the NCAA tournament. We got a whistle underneath as it was Chase Hunter going to the hoop, and he was fouled down low. As we watch the replay and head to our first break. 4:34 to go in the first quarter. We've got some high-flying action from Portsmouth at Churchland High School. It's the 71st annual PIT.
Timeout on the floor.
Welcome back to the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on WGNT 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
71st annual Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament, and almost 6 minutes in the books of our first semifinal. We're tied 12 apiece with K&D Rounds against Portsmouth Partnership. There's Coach Evan Key huddled up with his guys for Portsmouth Partnership alongside James Blackburn. I'm Matt Hatfield. What have you seen so far that you like, James?
I mean, both these teams are really competing. You know, games like this, you expect to see that because the winner of this game goes to the championship, Matt. So there's a reason that both of these teams are in this game after winning game 1. And what I like so far is, like, the depth. You don't know who's going to hurt you. Both of these teams have multiple guys that could do that. And you've got guys that know their roles, too. I mean, you take Ace Baldwin, who we've talked about. He's really good at setting guys up. Zeke Mayo, really good set shooter. He's doing what he did to get him here. And guys are playing with energy inside, and it's going to be tough to score this game. You've got a lot of elite lockdown defenders.
So at the free throw line, it's K&D Rounds with Chase Hunter, who played 167 college games over 6 seasons, and amazingly, all of those games and seasons, 1 place in the ACC for Brad Burnell and the Clemson Tigers. His first free throw is no good. Don't blame me, folks. He's usually pretty good at the foul line, including 9 of 10 in that NCAA tournament loss that they had against McNeese State a month ago.
Yeah, and he's a 40% plus three-point shooter. He can shoot it off the ball screen. He's really a strong and solid defender, too. I think that part of his game gets underrated. But like you said, last game he came out hot. Me and you did that game. And then he just went cold late. And they were up 20-plus points. And I think it was Sales Systems who came back that game and took the lead at one point. But K&D found a way to win it at the end, and here they are.
Yeah, they really did, and we watched yesterday Sales Systems get a great performance And a win from Kobe Sanders of Nevada, 6'8" guard with a lot of upside to him. And balanced attack for K&D Rounds in that win. 7 players with 6 points or more. Nate Santos, who we touched on, 14 points off the bench to go with Sean Padula's 16 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and just 1 turnover. Backing down now, it's Portsmouth partnership. Moving the basketball, Jemai Mashak has it. Here's a 3-pointer from the wing, and it's buried as Portsmouth partnership goes up here thanks to R.J. Felton, the 6'3" guard who was a last-minute fill-in from East Carolina. How about 9 for 13, 4 of 6 from deep in his first showing here in Portsmouth. The putback is there for Jonas Adu, but Felton made a strong impression on night 1.
Oh, he had a great game. He kind of took everybody by surprise, especially, he's more of a defensive guy. He's real physical. He was first team all AAC this year, and he's a guy that likes to get downhill, but he came in and surprised a lot of people.
Over 1,700 points in his 4 seasons at East Carolina. You see the active hands making something happen with a deflection and a putback from Jonas Adu out of the SEC. First with the Vols, then with the Razorbacks. You're watching the 71st annual PIT.
Welcome back to the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on WGNT 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
Deadlocked at 15 with 3:49 to go in the first quarter with K&D Rounds and Portsmouth partnership. Alongside James Blackburn, it's Matt Hatfield. I want to thank our entire team from Prep Spin WGNT as they have been doing a lot of heavy lifting for us this entire week, from William Warfield in our truck to Joe Allen on camera up here, Rob Burlingame among the cameramen and women down on the floor. I want to thank all the folks to see even the youngsters getting on the act there. James with the beads, they got the shirts getting signed by the players that are helping wipe the floor. And I would be remiss, I have to do this before we sign off tonight. I'm going to do it right now so I don't forget. I have to give a shout out to the wonderful men and women working in the hospitality room here, taking care of all the NBA scouts, executives, general managers, and us in the media, too.
Oh,
Karen
unbelievable.
Cooper, let's give a big round of applause or a shout out to Karen Cooper, Patsy Griffin, Clint Oliver, Bob, and Kathy Wise. So many thanks to them as they make sure that we are fed and happy for these games, and we are pumped for this one tonight and the one that follows.
Absolutely fueled up. And there's just hundreds of volunteers that make the Portsmouth happen every year, and they're all the unsung heroes that is behind this event here for 70-plus years now.
Yeah, Michael Morris and his team do a great job with Cliff Sale down there, our statistician Jim Heath, Jack Nicholson on the public address. There's a long-range attempt that's buried yet again, and R.J. Felton is not cooling off just yet, James.
And he's got a whole fan section here in the crowd. I think this might be the first time in my dozen years at Portsmouth that I've seen a fan section for a player. So he's been hot. He has been hot.
Unless you have a player from the home state of Virginia that goes to Old Dominion, Virginia Tech, Virginia, James Madison, Norfolk State, I don't want to leave anybody out. Radford and some of these schools, Division I, or State Longwood, I'm probably missing somebody here. The Greenville trip, where East Carolina is, to Portsmouth is not that far, so it's easy to get a good contingency. And how about that move underneath Great Osobor? He's mighty great when he does that, the 6'8" forward from Washington.
Yeah, Osobor moves really well with despite his size, and he gets deep post position, so that time able to capitalize.
A triple, it's banged home from Jonathan Pierre, the 6'9" forward who started for Belmont, started out at Memphis, and then really did some great things for the Bruins, 73 three-pointers.
Really like Pierre. He had a great game, great showing game 1. He does a lot on the floor, really versatile, can hit the three, long, athletic, can defend multiple positions, and pretty skilled too for his size.
That corner 3 from Mashak was contested. It's going to go back over to K&D Rounds Landscape. A couple of subs here on the floor now as Mashak will take a seat. 7 of 14 from the field for both teams at 50%. Also even in the three-point category, 3 for 6. So it's no wonder we've got ourselves a 2-point ball game here with a couple minutes to go in this opening quarter.
Well, you know, Matt, one thing I've noticed early on in our first game that we called together, you saw just a lot of up and down action where a lot of stuff was just kind of disoriented. You're seeing a lot more sets, a lot more guys executing in the half court, and they're getting used to playing with each other, and ultimately we're getting better basketball.
No question about it. And to that point of comfort zone, Jonas Adu with the fadeaway shot. Makes all the old school NBA power forwards happy to see that four-man go down there and do that, knock that shot down. Here underneath, it's great Osobor. He's got a great first name. Going to be great again in the lane. He's going to draw some contact and a foul here with 1:39 to go in the opening stanza.
Yeah, he's a load. I mean, between him and Balo, I mean, those two combined are weighing in at over 500 pounds. So the bigs from K&D are going to have their hands full all game as in the paint. It's going to be a paint battle down there.
That's the second personal foul on Xavier Zach Fremantle for K&D Rounds. Donning the white uniforms tonight. In the orange, it's Portsmouth Partnership. And those in the stripes are officials tonight. Tim Green, Marcy Williams, and Kelly Broomfield calling the fouls. And Osobor's first foul shot is no good. Now, this is the area of his game that certainly can be sharpened up on. Just 64.1% in his career. He was just 16 of 67 from 3 at 23.9%. But he is really that tenacious rebounder and multi-dimensional scorer on the interior that you talked about. If the second foul shot is good and it breaks our tie.
He's got a nice stroke from the line. I mean, good touch, good arc on his shot, gets good backspin. So I think that percentage could go up.
Here's our first look at number 14, Jaden Akins, a 6'4" guard who helped Michigan State reach the Elite Eight this past season for Tom Izzo and the Spartans. Run into Auburn out of the SEC. Little pump fake, one dribble move, and then it's Adu getting blocked. Matthew Cleveland swooping in to reject it. Number 14, the 6'7" forward who first played at Florida State and finished up with the Miami Hurricanes in the ACC. Attacking with the right hand, it's R.J. Felton. His shot won't go. It's tapped back by Osobor, and it's going to be into the hands of his teammate Zeke Mayo. As we're under a minute to go in this opening quarter. Here's Cleveland, who had a pretty nice game in his debut at the PIT. 7 of 11 from the floor off the bench with a good bundle of points, 5 rebounds, 3 steals, a couple of blocks, 16 points in fact, and it's going to be a foul here on this end of the floor, so they could not get the stop on that sequence, K&D Rounds, but really running good offense, James.
Well, Matt, I just want to point out that was just a fantastic defensive possession for Portsmouth, and then a great offensive possession. On defense, they did a good job. The ball had crossed court, cross side several times. They played up and aggressive on the ball screen. They had a good shot block. They defended for multiple seconds. It wasn't just a quick steal. And then down on this end, they moved the ball around. They got what they want late in the shot clock, and it was a foul. So, again, the game you see is slowing down. And as we go through 2 games, 3 games in 4 days, these guys have to execute in the half court, and they have to show the scouts how they can do that. And this team right now is doing that.
Osobor hits the second free throw. 22-20 in favor of Portsmouth Partnership. In the front court now, it's Nolan Hickman. Hickman dribbles to the left. 2 defenders in his vicinity. He's going to bounce it into Adu.
The ball pressure is really getting to K&D's, and credit Portsmouth Partnership. They are just active hands. All their guards are up. They're not letting them use ball screens. They're not letting them see the court. They're crowding their vision.
Good catch along the baseline by a longtime ODU Monarch supporter and fan, Ernie Hankins. There's a dunk down low from Jonas Adu.
They heard me praising him too much. They let a wide open dunk happen underneath their own basket. But we've got a tight one here, Matt. This could be a good game.
We're knotted up at 22 apiece.
Look to R.J. Felton to attack here.
Down to 7 seconds, 6 on the shot clock. Little hot potato, Matthew Cleveland's got it. Being guarded by Santos. With 1 on the shot clock, it's going to be short, and that will take us to the end of 1 quarter of play. And we're tied up at 22 apiece in this one. The semifinals in the 71st annual Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament. It looks like we might have a whistle. Not sure if we're going to the second quarter exactly just yet. Well,
did they call a
We have
Foul on the loose ball.
Yeah, we're not done with the opening period, so we'll keep it right here. Almost went to break. Glad we were able to catch Tim Green's call there before we did go to the end of the quarter. Now it's the end of the quarter as the Heat will be stuck.
We get the ball stuck.
Oh,
That's
no.
just great.
Well, as we go to break, we'll send James up on a ladder to go get it.
Yeah.
So we'll come back with second quarter action as the semifinals of the 71st annual PIT.
We got a mic for you. You want to sit over there? This is Matt. Yep.
Welcome back to the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on WGNT 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
You're watching continuing coverage of the 71st Annual Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament from Churchland High School. Our score through one quarter of play in the semifinals on Friday night. K&D Rounds in the white uniforms 22 and Portsmouth Partnership in the orange jerseys 22. Alongside James Blackburn, Matt Hatfield here with you. We're privileged, James, to be joined by a longtime respected basketball scout as a three-point shot is knocked down by K&D Rounds. Sam Meyerkopf, so kind to spend some time with us in the second quarter. Sam, thanks for stopping by. You're watching all kinds of great action so far here at the PIT. Welcome.
Hey, man, this is my favorite place to be. This is my favorite tournament. I love being here. I can't wait to see what these kids are going to put a display on for us.
Three-point lead, and underneath it's going to be a foul. Count it, plus the harm there as Umar Ballo, the 7'1 center from Indiana out of Mali, gets it to go, and he's got a chance to knock the score up here. So when you come to Portsmouth and you get this setting here of players that have established themselves at the collegiate level against some of the best 64 of the top seniors in America, what are you looking for as a scout?
I mean, the first thing you come out here, who's playing hard, who's showing the intangibles, who's working their butt off, who's being a good teammate, who's calling out things on defense, all those things that maybe you can't always see on the film, but when you come to Portsmouth, you can like really get an up-close look and see in person.
So, James, like that expanded checklist from what you heard when you were in grade school, you go to high school, you play AAU, now it's even larger because you're playing for money and a chance to have that job.
Yeah, and you've got eyes on you. I mean, not just NBA teams, but you've got scouts here from Europe, Asia, you've got agents. I mean, you're always being seen, and these are the people that are going to kind of pave the path of your career for your future. So, Sam, what are some of the guys this game in particular that have stood out to you that you've seen now, you know, all this year, but then second time this week?
Yeah, I think a big thing, like Nate Santos from Dayton played the 4 all year at Dayton, was really good at it. Now he's playing the 3 a lot, and he has the size to be a 3 at an NBA level, so he might have played himself from, wow, what is he? He might get a 2-way contract out of this week, you know? And I think seeing guys in different roles is huge. So someone like him is awesome. Sean Padula, Maybe because of the size, more for Europe in the future, but he's playing his butt off. He's point guarding this team. Like, he really has a chance to do something. Then a guy like Matthew Cleveland, who was supposed to be one and done, maybe Miami, Florida State, inconsistent career, but all of a sudden he comes out here and that natural talent he showed in high school or early in his college is now blossoming on this court. And all of a sudden people are rethinking him a little bit and giving him more of a chance, maybe in the NBA.
Paulo splits a pair of free throws. We're tied up again at 25 all, and it's interesting to bring up Cleveland because he's got some pretty good numbers, but neither team, Miami or Florida State, despite their successes under Leonard Hamilton, coaching change, Jim Larinaga, coaching change, never played in an NCAA tournament game, which is hard to believe for a player that comes to Portsmouth.
It's almost impossible to believe. I mean, guys are in college for a decade at this point, right? But so it just never happened fully for him. It never, whether it was, the staff's leaving and him not finding his role, and this up and down setting is better, but he just never got there. And some guys need a certain setting to really come. Some guys, anywhere they go, right, they're going to be good. And some guys, they need a certain situation, a certain fit, and we're starting to see that a little more with him.
Padula bounces it to Jonas Adu as the 6'11 center from Arkansas gets it to go, and he is fouled. So we're seeing a lot of continuation in this game. We watch the replay. Padula changes direction, and there's that bounce, James, the old pick-and-roll basketball.
Yeah, and I've been really impressed. I agree with Sam. I mean, you just named two of my favorite players with Santos and Padula. And Padula came in. It's kind of more of a combo, but I agree with you, Sam. He's done a great job of setting up teammates. The assist numbers don't really do him justice, especially last game. He had a lot of good passes, good reads in the ball screen, and that time, read it, made a great just pocket pass to the roller.
Yeah, that's always what I wonder about with a guy like him. Did someone get in his ear and, hey, Sean, we got to be more of a point guard today. You did what you could at Ole Miss. You were a gamer. You scored. Now let's show a different skill set. Now let's show something else. Was that him? Was it an agent? Was that someone kind of helping him out? But either way, he's showing it, and that just matters so much.
Pierre was being guarded by a couple defenders. Cleveland hounding him now as Padula's got it with the shot clock ticking down to 5. Being guarded by the long arms of Meshack. He gets it over to an open guy, and Pierre, his three-pointer won't go down. The rebound is swooped in by Gasson. David Gasson's an interesting player, born in the Netherlands, but started out at Virginia Tech like Padula here in him, Sam, but David had some numbers and very efficient at Kansas City. We watched the basket score underneath by, guess who, David Gasson.
Yeah, really good player, right? Because he has the European stuff. Is he going to be more NBA? Is he going to be Europe? A little bit of a funky front court player, but just effective and productive wherever he goes. Not a great play there, but again, Nate Santos is killing this tournament. He's been a beast since he stepped on this court.
Count it for Nate Santos, getting an and-one here for the Dayton Flyer, who shot an identical 41.8% from three each of the last 2 seasons. That's a statistical anomaly to have the same exact shooting percentage from three-point in 2 seasons in a row, unless you don't take any and you go 0 for 0. Right? It's the and-one here and a chance to give K&D Rounds a 4-point lead. What do you like most about this event?
Up close and personal. We're in a high school gym. I can sit next to the court. I can see, I can look in the players' eyes. I can look how they're interactions. I can go talk to an NBA scout. An agent who's representing him is sitting down in the stands. I can go talk to him. The interpersonal feel of Portsmouth is unmatched by any event I've been to, and that's what just makes it unique. And 71 years speaks for itself.
Basketball's biggest secret.
Ayo, I like that.
Zeke Mayo gets rid of it. Jemai Meshack trying to curl his way through as we're down to 8 on the shot clock. Meshack's got it. Setting the screen. It's Ballo. They're far away from the basket, and the defense dug in well for K&D Rounds there, James, as they stymie them. And it's a 4-point lead, a chance to bid on it after that stop.
Sam, what is one player that you think that has helped himself more than any other player here so far with the NBA teams?
Man, any other player?
Any player that you've seen so far.
Okay, Nelly Jr. Joseph had a fantastic game yesterday. It looked like, some sort of Hakeem Olajuwon / Jokic thing going on, right? So, he was killing it. Victor Locken played an incredible game. I think that's another point, and there's a lot of bigs at Portsmouth always, right? What can they show outside their college system? Maybe they were a pick-and-roll robot, or they had to do all these certain jobs. Now they're here, a little more freedom, a little more juice with the ball. The big men can show a little bit more than maybe they did at their school in their system.
Osibor swings it. Here's R.J. Felton for 3 in the corner. Tray ball is good for the young fella from East Carolina who dropped in 22 points just 2 days ago on 4 of 6 from way downtown. Suddenly a 1-point ball game.
that guy is unbelievable. I mean, what did they call him on Tuesday and say show up on Wednesday, and he's out here being the best dang player on the floor? What's going on here?
Well, and he wasn't even really known as a shooter as much. He was more of a slasher, defensive player, and he's come here and, man, he's just been letting him rain from the three.
Zach Fremantle says anything you can do, I can do better. As he knocks down a three down low, they go to Ballo. 2 defenders in his pathway.
Good double team.
Here's Felton again from way downtown. He swishes it down. He's looking like a young Shaman Williams back in his heyday with that three ball as he knocks it down. My goodness, as Shaman is in the building, we'll probably talk to him a little bit.
We'll bring him on next.
South Carolina kid, he says to us. There's a three-pointer that's no good for Chase Hunter and the rebound for Meshack.
Is that 4 in a row for RJ? I mean, he is flaming on fire.
He's hit at least 3 this game.
Yeah.
4 of 4 from deep. They go down low in the post to Ballo as he's going to back down against Jonas Adu. Corner 3 for Meshack, and that one is money. And it makes the score in favor of Portsmouth Partnership 36-34 as it's raining threes here in Portsmouth. A total of 11 in this game, 6 for Portsmouth Partnership, 5 for K&D Rounds.
I mean, they're 6 of 10. They're shooting 60% from 3. Great extra pass there.
Fremantle gets the floater to go as Zach Fremantle, who had that injury a couple of seasons ago. What's your feel, Sam, about players that have had an injury? Certainly you don't want to blame them for that or write them off. How do you change in terms of your evaluation or assess that, whether they're dealing with an injury or they've had a past one? Is there concerned about durability as Gray Osborne gets the basket, count it plus the foul?
I mean, it's difficult, right? Like injury stuff is always difficult. It's tricky. How have they recovered? How do they look? You know, you talk to NBA teams who get like a little more info than all of us, and they might have talked to the kid and explain like, what's your rehab been? What have you done? But I think coming out here and just seeing how they move, seeing how they act is huge.
We've got a timeout on the floor. 2-point game here in the semifinals of the 71st annual Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on WGNT 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
Longtime basketball scout Son Meyerkopf, so kind to join us here. Matt Hatfield alongside James Blackburn as we give you the action from the semifinals of the Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament here at Churchland High School. 38-36 Portsmouth Partnership on top of K&D Rounds. See some fans from UT in the house, rocking some of their gear. I see a Michigan State Spartans jacket as well, as starting to get filled up here on day 3, I guess we could say rather night 3 of the 4-day marathon that is the 12 games here in the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament. James, it's the 7th one of our marathon wall-to-wall coverage that's being brought to you on Prep Spin globally and through the Hampton Roads Market on WGNT.
Yeah, and traditionally the Friday night game or the Friday nightcap has always been one of the most well-attended games here at PIT, and you never know who you're going to see in the crowd. I mean, it's like Sam said, you got so many faces, so many people in the basketball community. You could run down and see a high major head coach, and just got everybody here. It's where you need to be if you're a basketball fan this week.
Jaden Akins with the basketball after the missed free throw, as it's going to be Chase Hunter trying to bounce one through, and it goes out of bounds. Turnover with 4:50 to go in the first half. Any misconceptions you would say, Sam, about an event like this in the PIT and just where basketball is today from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I think with the PIT, one thing is that because the combines become so big and they have the G League combine, you know, leading up to it, and everyone might want to hide their player or do this stuff. And I always say, like, come out and show yourself. We got, over 100 NBA scouts here. We got 30, 40 GMs from around the world, agents from all over. It's hard to lose stock playing. It's hard to lose stock just being out there playing hard. Maybe you miss a few shots, maybe a ball gets tipped somewhere, but for people to see you in the flesh, they remember that. And I just always find it a little funky when people are just kind of running from that smoke and just come see. You don't know what's going to happen. You can have an RJ Felt week, might change your life.
A floater from Gonzaga's Nolan Hickman, then a steal and run to the basket for 2 as it's scored courtesy of Clemson's Chase Hunter to suddenly put them ahead, them being K&D Rounds 40-38. Jemai Mashak trying to give the lead right back, though, with under 4 minutes to go in the first half. Long rebound comes out to great Asabor as he's dribbling the basketball against a smaller defender. They go down on the post, but look at the hustle right there from Chase Hunter, almost coming up with it on the loose ball. Pump fake from Ace Baldwin, who kicks it out. Here's a 3 ball for RJ. He does it. Get the fire extinguisher because RJ Felton, he's smoking.
It's like NBA Jam. He's not going to miss once he's on fire.
5 of 5 from deep in this one. Follow is good as Nolan Hickman gets his 3rd field goal of the night. But RJ Felton, you better put 2 guys on him because he's in that Steph Curry type of zone.
I've never been that hot in my own driveway. Okay.
Here's Mashak getting it over to Baldwin. Ace Baldwin with the dribble, had a great game
pass.
with 11 assists, and there's another one for him as it's Umar Ballo going off the window for 2. 43-42. We go back and forth in this basketball game with our 9th lead change. We've had 9 ties, just like a semifinal should be. And there's a 3-pointer from Nate Santos, the Illinois native that played for Dayton, showing his touch from long distance.
Nate Santos is driving from here directly to Chicago to the NBA Combine,
Absolutely.
folks. Okay.
Driving directly.
Yeah, I think
no
so.
Flights.
Yeah, I don't know. He's in a car, man.
I hope he's got a good, playlist, some type of podcast to listen to get there.
And what's interesting about that shot, Sam, is he's traditionally been like a catch-and-shoot guy.
Spot-up guy.
Yeah, and he can, put 1 or 2 dribbles on the floor, hit the mid-range. But that time he actually created space for himself, which is something he's going to need to show the NBA scouts.
No doubt, and I love the aggressiveness.
Timeout on the floor, 2:34 to go in this 2-point affair with K&D Rounds and Portsmouth partnership from the PIT.
Welcome back to the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on WGNT 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
Coming up at halftime, you'll get a chance to watch the Virginia Sunwheelers, the only Hampton Roads adult wheelchair basketball team. They're members of the National Wheelchair Basketball Association and currently ranked 11th nationally out of over 50 teams in their division. So you'll get a chance to watch that. A pretty unique thing that's become an annual tradition at the 71st Annual Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament. Matt Hatfield here with you alongside my partner James Blackburn, and we're so glad to be joined by longtime respected basketball scout and analyst Sam Meyerkopf. Sam, we've had a heck of a showing in this first half as there's been a combined 13 made threes out of 24 attempts. Some may question defense, but this has just been high-level offense that you sometimes don't see unless you get a big-time NCAA tournament game or an NBA playoff game that goes down to the wire.
I mean, no doubt about it. And I don't think the defense is bad. I think the intensity from this game, from the tip, has been just all the way there. We just got a couple of guys who came out here ready to frickin' ball out, and it's – I mean, I just think the R.J. Felton story is so cool that he was, not initially invited to Portsmouth, filled in, and now he has, 5 threes in the quarter, 5 threes in the half. As James talked about earlier, not even a traditional shooter, so showing a different skill set that adds on to already, strengths he has in his game. That's the best thing you can do at Portsmouth.
And I love Portsmouth's strategy so far. You've got shooters on the ice outside with Mayo and Felton, and then you've got the 2 bigs inside, Matt, that are just loads inside that can score with their back to the basket. So they're just so hard to guard. You can't double them inside. If you do, they're going to hit a 3. And if you don't, they're going to go to the foul line or they're going to finish inside. So there could be a tough out here this tournament.
Here's Paulo, just a 56.5% career foul shooter. We talked about it the other night. He played soccer, as it's called over there, football, in his native of Mali as a goalkeeper, but then shifted his focus to basketball, moved to France at age 15, and has ample experience playing with FIBA under 19, under 18, and U16. And that's an encouraging sign as he gets the game's 10th tie. We've had 10 lead changes in less than 18 full minutes of play as it's deadlocked at 45 after Ballo knocks down a pair from the charity stripe.
Ballo plus Osibor, I mean, that's got to be pound for pound one of the biggest front lines in Portsmouth
Over
history.
500 pounds.
Oh, my God. Listed.
And they're passing the ball to each other, too. They're doing a lot of high-lows. I mean, how do you guard that? If you're...
No, these guys are skilled. Don't let the size fool you.
No, and they move well, too.
R.J. Felton skying to get that rebound. And now with the basketball, it's Ace Baldwin who tries to bounce it ahead, leading Osibor, and it's going to be touched last out of bounds by K&D Round. Substitutions on the floor as David Gasson will come back in. Ballo gets a rest. Meanwhile, Santos heads to the bench, and back in is Jonathan Pierre from Belmont for K&D Rounds.
We were talking about the elite offense this game, but the defense has actually been elite too. I mean, both teams are pressuring the ball. They're playing help side defense. So, yeah, the scoring is definitely not because of bad defense.
RJ finally missed one, but hey, the fire's got to go out at some point.
Only his second miss of the game.
The whistle here is it'll be a foul against Portsmouth Partnership.
I think Ace Baldwin might be the most creative passer this year at Portsmouth. I might have to give that little trophy out to him. I've seen some, I mean, it's tough, right? You never played with these guys before. You get on the floor, you don't have that rhythm. He has found a way to find the nooks and crannies of defenses and really thrown some cool passes.
Padula knocks down the jumper just inside the arc as he continues to impact the game in a multitude of ways. Now Jemai Meshack trying to respond with a score for his squad. Greg Osibor gets it back to Meshack.
Osibor keeps looking at that three like he's going to take it. But this is his wheelhouse right there. Great
what
pass.
A cut as Felton scores again. Felton having his way in this first half. Now 17 points on 6 of 8 from the floor and a perfect 5 of 5 from way downtown. This has been a legendary type of first half. The question is going to be, can he keep up this torrid pace for an entire game? If he does, my goodness.
RJ might be in the car with Nate Santos to Chicago. That might be that the car is starting to get people inside of it.
Well, what makes Portsmouth so tough to guard is they've got these bigs, Sam, but they're great passers too. So, I mean, it's just really, really hard to find a strategy against these guys.
It's 2025. You want to get on the floor, you got to be skilled no matter the size.
Baldwin over to Meshack. Corner three. How about Felton going above the rim to throw it down? Looking at some of the scouts, their jaws are dropping oohing and on at this young man from East Carolina who's really become the guy stealing the show at this tournament. Basket is good, responded right back, 49 apiece as we're watching these guys go mano-a-mano, trading punches like prize fighters. And another timeout's called here as we've got 26.4 seconds to go in the half. You mind sticking with us for 26 more seconds here, Sam?
What did you say, sir?
You mind sticking with us for 26 seconds?
Yes, I can do that.
You're a little stunned like all of us are. We got a timeout as we watch R.J. Felton go above to throw it down. It's the 71st annual Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament.
Welcome back to the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on WGNT 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
Annual Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament on WGNT TV and Prep Spin. It's Portsmouth Partnership and K&D Rounds Landscape Services deadlocked at 49 apiece with 26 seconds to go in our first half. One more semifinal will come your way this evening, and that will feature the likes of Jenny King against Portsmouth Sports Club. Matt Hatfield here with you alongside James Blackburn and longtime respected basketball scout Sam Meyerkopf and R.J. Felton, fellas. So far through one game and nearly a half of play at the PIT. 41 points on 16 of 22 shooting from the field, 9 of 11 from three-point range. Those are sick video game-like numbers.
I mean, absolutely unbelievable. I think he jumps off the court as well. Like, as you're watching him, the energy, the power he plays with. This guy hit 5 threes in a row, then follows it up with a putback slam. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, just like, it's just energizing.
And it's infectious with his team. I mean, that's what he did a lot, though, at ECU this year. He was a great offensive rebounder for a 6'4" guard that he is.
Sure seems like with all those putback dunks.
That was a Globetrotters dunk. I know they're like sponsoring this year's PIT, and that was the Globetrotters dunk.
They are. Join the legacy, be a part of history. The world-famous Harlem Globetrotters, basketball excellence, athlete development, and ambassadors of goodwill. Wilt, Cedric Ceballos, Lynette Woodard, Alexis Morris, and Magic, part of the 100 Years of Greats that are on these flyers here at the PIT in Churchland. And underneath going down low to score, David Gasson. Can Sean Padula and company beat the horn? They're going to try. Down low, it's Zach Fremantle, and before the buzzer sounds, he rattles one in, and we're tied at 51. What a heck of half of basketball we've had here. 13 ties, 11 lead changes, and guess what? We're not done. We still have 20 more minutes of action coming your way. It's the 71st Annual Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament, and coming up at the break, it's the Virginia Sunwizers, but we watch again David Gasson go down low, tightrope the baseline, and score off the window for 2 until Zach Fremantle says, I've got you one better. 51 all. Come on back for more coverage of the PIT.
Welcome back to the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on WGNT 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
We welcome you back to the 71st Annual Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament. And we're tied at the half in the first of 2 semifinals tonight between K&D Rounds and Portsmouth Partnership, as that was a basket scored by Trey Dunn. What are you watching? You're watching the Virginia Sunwheelers the only Hampton Roads adult wheelchair basketball team. They're members of the National Wheelchair Basketball Association and currently ranked 11th nationally out of over 50 teams in their division. They provide athletic opportunities for people with a permanent physical disability of their legs that prevents them from playing able-bodied sports. The Sunwheelers also raise public awareness of the abilities of the disabled through education and demonstrations. As you're seeing here, wheelchair basketball, it's played on a regulation size court and basket. Let's see what number 55 can do. Oh, it almost rolled down for Greg Fordham of Norfolk. Putback is there, though. The fans that come out to the PIT, this is the 71st annual, they look forward to this every year. It's something that was brought to my attention a few years back, and it's become an annual tradition now. And really cool. And you know what's also neat is that those that want to hear more about this, the competitors that you're seeing out here, they're more than willing to talk, just like those athletes that you watched in the first half for Portsmouth Partnership and K&D Realms Landscape Services. They sign autographs, they take pictures. They love this and look forward to it every year. And that one's passed up ahead to Yorktown's Dave Stenger. And I checked that, actually, that's Trey Dunn, rather, who scores it for two. Let's tell you the numbers of these competitors. Cynthia Pettis wearing number 10 from Hampton, number 12 Dave Stenger from Yorktown, number 14 Anthony Russo out of Virginia Beach, number 24 James Abbs of Hampton, number 44 Jody Shiflett of Virginia Beach, 55 Greg Fordham from Norfolk we mentioned, number 13 Josiah Knight, number 55 Durante Rollins, and number 22 Trey Dunn. There's no double dribble. The wheelchair is considered part of the player. Players must bounce the ball once every 2 pushes of the chair to avoid a traveling violation. Some of the rule changes with this Virginia Sunwheelers wheelchair basketball team. Jody Shiflett scores it off the window for 2. Such a nice touch this is here at the PIT as we're at halftime of our 7th game out of 12. Cynthia Pettis scoring that one from Hampton. Getting an applause from some folks that made the trip across the water. They braved that tunnel, that HRBT. Oh, it's backed up oftentimes. Either direction. Monitor Merrimack 2 on a Friday in Hampton Roads. That basketball trickling out of bounds. All kinds of college coaches in attendance there. You see in the corner Brian Berg from Ole Miss. We spoke about him earlier in our telecast today when we spoke with former Old Dominion great Trey Freeman. He had a Kellum High School. He started off at Campbell. Now coaching high school basketball in Hampton Roads at Kempsville. That was during our broadcast of the Roger Brown's Restaurant 95-87 win over Mike Duman Incorporated in our consolation game. As Roger Brown's moved to 1-1, Mike Duman dropped to 0-2. Mike Duman will take on Norfolk Sports Club at 11 a.m. on Saturday in the 7th place game, while Sales Systems will take on Roger Brown's in our 1 p.m. 5th place game coming up on Saturday. Whoever falls in this one will be playing as far as the partnership K&D Rounds game. You see with our score bug, they'll be playing at 5 o'clock on Saturday in the 3rd place consolation game, while the winner moves on to tomorrow night's championship at 7 o'clock Eastern against the winner of Jana King Portsmouth Sports Club, which is the semifinal to follow this one. And all of the action available archived through Prep Spin. You're watching on WGNT TV across Hampton Roads too. And another strong turnout for the 3rd day of 4, part of 12 games in the 71st annual Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament. Trey Dunn almost banked one in there. Oh, look at the no look behind the back feed from James Abbs, and then a hoop is scored. And long three-pointer almost went in. Rollins misfired on that one off the backboard, so Dave Stenger will get it as the Clock hits 4 minutes and a standing ovation for the folks here at Churchill High School. They really appreciate the Virginia Sunwheelers for coming out and putting on a nice show for folks. The only Hampton Roads adult wheelchair basketball team, currently ranked 11th nationally out of 50 teams in their division. Such a cool experience for them and for the fans to check it out. We'll take a quick timeout too. You're watching continuing coverage of the 71st Annual Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament from Churchton High.
Oh, we're back now here at the 2025 PIT Live at Churchland High School. Nail-biter here between Portsmouth Partnership and K&D Rounds Landscaping. Right now, we are tied at 51 apiece. R.J. Felton from East Carolina lighting it up with 19 points. Another big night for him. And how about K&D Rounds Landscaping? They are shooting 62% in the first half. We'll see if that can keep up. We're going to have the rest of this matchup. Going to go down to the wire like the rest of them, maybe. We're going to see on the other side of this break as the 2025 Portsmouth Invitational Tournament continues live right here on WGNT. Stay right there. We're coming right back.
First basket of this third quarter scored by Zach Fremantle to give him now 13 points on 6 of 7 shooting, with Sean Padula getting his 5th assist of the night. It's the 71st annual Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament alongside James Blackburn, Matt Hatfield here with you. As we have another special guest that will be joining us here in just a moment here from the Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament. We thank one of those guests that joined us, Sam Meyerkopf, earlier in our broadcast, as this guy that's joining us now played in the 1998 Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament. One of 7 guys. I might put him to the test here, James, if he can name the other 6 guys that played in the PIT. But you also know him if you're a Carolina fan, the 1997 ACC Tournament MVP. He played for several seasons professionally, NBA, Europe. He's been coaching too. He's got roots to the Palmetto State, which he touched on with R.J. Felton balling here in this ball game so far.
Yes.
Fork Union. He's coached at Furman on the men's side, Tulane, Western Kentucky, Old Dominion as a women's assistant with Delisha Milton-Jones for a few years, and just this past season, as the first of 2 free throws, he's knocked down here by Ace Baldwin Jr. of Penn State to make it a 1-point game. At the University of Denver as an interim coach, and he got the water Gatorade bath in the locker room. We say hello to our pal Shaman Williams. Good to see you, my friend. How you been?
I'm doing well, gentlemen. How are you doing?
We're doing great. It's been a heck of a first half. They're raining threes. This has got to be getting the goosebumps going for you as one of those best shooters that's ever come out of the ACC.
Yeah, it's great to see these young men shooting the basketball from deep when you're in this environment and you're playing at this level in front of all these scouts. Sometimes you're a little apprehensive, sometimes you're a little nervous, and to see a lot of these young men being able to get over those things and be successful out here and make baskets is really great to see.
What do you remember about your experience here at the PIT 27 years ago at Churchland High School?
To be honest, coming out of the Final Four, I wasn't so sure that I was going to come and participate because it was the next week after the Final Four. And I was told that I happened to ask the question, who's going to participate? And they said a few names of guys from the state of South Carolina that were ranked ahead of me when we were leaving the state of South Carolina. And I asked them would I have a chance to play against those guys, and they told me yes. And it kind of solidified my opportunity to come here. And having an opportunity to play against those guys to show them from where I was to where I am, at that point in time was the great part. And so I guess it would be the competitive part of me in wanting to show people how good I was the most important part. But then once getting here, just the hospitality that was here in Virginia, the coaches, the administration, having a chance to be in this environment really jump-started my professional career. And it was really great to have an opportunity to come back and speak, 3 years ago, which was 25 years for me.
That's right.
Speak here at the luncheon was really awesome.
You're in that select group of luncheon speakers with names like Hollow Quintessers. Watch the flush that's thrown down right there. Jonas Adu of Arkansas from the SEC to make it a 1-point game after Ace Baldwin's basket with the continuation on the foul from Chase Hunter. And James, part of that list with names such as John Stockton, Kylo Quinn, and a guy here to our left in Shaman that was drafted in 1998 in the second round by the Chicago Bulls. Right as that golden era was ending for the Bulls, the 3-point shot is short here and it'll go the other way.
Yeah, I mean, that was the PIT. We've already talked about all the names. Shaman, you're one of the legends that's come through here. And this tournament, 71 years now.
Yes.
It's hard to believe. I always tell people this is my 13th PIT. And they look at me and they said, you got about 30 or 40 more to go before you get on that list where, these guys have seen a lot of basketball around here.
Yes. It's a staple. I mean, it's awesome. For me, I think that it will only get better. I think that it's going to expand when you start looking at the environment around this area, with the casinos and those types of things. I suspect that it's only going to...
It's going to grow.
Yeah, it's going to grow. And so, it's a privilege to have the opportunity to come and participate. And to a certain extent, I always thought, like I said, at first I didn't know if I was going to come and participate. Looking back on it, it was a bad thought process. I should have been chomping at the bit to have the opportunity to participate, and I'm glad that I accepted the opportunity because it allowed me to compete. And when you're a competitor, that's what you want.
Ace Baldwin's jumper's no good, and it's thrown away by Nolan Hickman. 1-point lead for Portsmouth Partnership here as we got substitutions on the floor. Subbed out right now is going to be Zeke Mayo of Kansas, getting ready to be thrown in by R.J. Felton.
Yes.
The East Carolina standout has got 19 points to lead the way for Portsmouth Partnership in this game, 13 points for Zach Fremantle. And Shimon, you know this from all your years of playing professionally and now coaching the game of basketball, the relationships that are forged, they're lifelong. I mean, you got a chance to coach here at Old Dominion on the women's side of things. You just know how special this area code is, and this place here at the PIT. You see familiar faces, and there's a three-point shot on the way for Baldwin, and ring it up for him as he knocks him down. It's something people look forward to every year.
Yeah, I mean, just with you two guys, the relationship that I have with both of you, man, I cherish those relationships. It's always great to see you guys. I mean, I saw James a few weeks at the Final Four. You know, it's always great because that's what this thing is about. It's about relationships. No matter what you do in life, you want to build relationships, and because one day, we're going to leave this earth. And what people say about you or think about you is going to be the most important thing. It's not really what you accomplish, but it's what people say about you as a person. And so you want to make sure that, especially when you're able to align with good people, like yourselves, there's any time you can always give me a call, and I'm going to be there for you because you're good men. And, that's what you want in your life. You want to be surrounded by good people. And so, hopefully everybody, all these young men, get an understanding of why they're here and take advantage of it, because there's a lot of people that would love to been in this position. Trust me. And so hopefully they're not just taking it by chance. Hopefully they're appreciating the opportunity to be here, and somebody thought of them, that they had a chance to be here and make the most of it, and make sure they tell people thank you.
We've now got surprisingly 7 turnovers the last 3 minutes and 8 seconds here. It's become more of a turnover fest after the lights-out shooting we saw in the first half, where it's slowed down to 2 of 2 for K&D Rounds, but they've turned it over here 6 times, 2 of 6 for Portsmouth Partnership, James.
Well, I mean, we talked about in the first half that there was a lot of scoring, but the defense was really good.
Right.
I mean, both teams were getting into the ball. They had active hands. They were jumping to the ball. And look, right there, another deflection.
Yes.
So now we're starting to see the defense catch up. Some of the shots aren't falling. And, both teams got out of the rhythm going into halftime.
No question. Well, this is the part of the game where they're going to really be evaluated, because it's a competitive game and guys are playing to win. And so now when you begin to talk about playing at another level, this is where you have a chance to show people that you're a professional. Because the one thing, great shot by R.J. Felton right there, North Augusta, South Carolina.
That's it.
Kid, but formerly of East Carolina University. But this is the time, like I explained to kids, professionals make it easy. And so if you are a professional and you're playing amongst college players, then the game should be easy for you. And so when you're being evaluated, that's the one thing that you're looking at. You're looking at how easy does the game come to you while you're playing. And why, when I'm watching these guys, it's like, well, what's easy? Who makes the difficult things look easy? And that's what you begin to evaluate and say, you know what? He's a pro.
Great awesome work comes in for Jemai Mashak as going back to work. It's K&D Rounds. It's knocked out of bounds. And tell me if I'm wrong, Shimon, sometimes less is more.
Oh, less is always more. Because when you begin to look at this environment, you do have an opportunity to play at the ultimate level. A lot of the things that you're doing here on the floor, you may not get an opportunity to do at that next level. You may be in the corner. It's going to be a swing. You got to knock that shot down. That's being a professional, being able to knock the shot down when it presents itself. So this environment is a little different. As you get a chance to show your skill, but how efficient can you be in what's asked of you as a player in your role. So, that's, I think for a lot of kids, that's the adjustment that they have to make when you get a lot of opportunity to shoot the ball, you're handling the basketball, and so on and so forth. And then when you get in a professional environment, they're not asking you to do that. You have to earn the right to do that. And I learned that early, being a draftee. I was drafted into the NBA, and as a point guard, and my thing was to initiate the offense and then go wait for the ball to come back to me. Then if it came back, then I had to capitalize. And once I showed the ability to be able to capitalize when that ball came back, then I was asked to do more. And so, hopefully these kids get an understanding of being efficient.
Well, Shimon, I like what you said about,
that's a big deal.
The game, them kind of less is more. And
Yes.
a lot of that is the game slowing down for him. And you see these point guards like Ace Baldwin, I think is a perfect example. He can play in the half court, he can play in the full in transition. And these guys that are the pros out here, the ones that are rising to the top, the game slows down for them.
No question. No question. You know, and that's one thing that, even in teaching, I was trying to teach, people ask me, Shaman, why are your percentages so high? And when you shot the basketball, I said, well, I shot the shots that I practiced. And they were like, what do you mean by that? I said, well, every time the ball was thrown out to me, nobody was putting a hand up. So I knocked those shots down. So when it came to the game, I was trying to get shots where people didn't put their hand up.
Flush by David Gasson. You might hang with us till the end of the quarter?
Yeah. I love this is basketball, baby.
Former NBA guard Shaman Williams of UNC fame with us here alongside James Blackburn and Matt Hatfield at Portsmouth. Partnership on top by 8. You're watching the 71st annual PIT on Prep Spin and WGNT.
Welcome back to the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on WGNT 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
Oh, wow. That's
All right, folks, this is going to be better than Charles Barkley doing Who He Play For alongside Shaman Williams and James Blackburn. I am Matt Hatfield, the former NBA guard from the 1998 Portsmouth Invitational Tournament. And James, it was a star-studded class back in 1998 that played in the PIT, and Shaman was one of 7 guys. Now here you go, Shaman. Can you name the other 6 that were with you that got drafted from the 1998 PIT?
The other 6 that were here.
Yeah.
Got drafted.
If you get one, you did better than the Chuckster did, so take that.
Well, Felipe Lopez was here.
He got it from St. John's, first-round pick.
Okay.
That's the only first-rounder. The rest of them were second-rounders like yourself. He's already beaten Barkley, so from here it's
that was
gravy.
impressive.
From here it's gravy. Portsmouth partnership, by the way, folks, up 63-55 in our first of 2 semifinals. We got Jenna King and Portsmouth Sports Club coming up after this one.
You got a Houston Rocket on there, Shaman. That's a legend, an underrated Houston Rocket.
Oh, Coutinho was here.
Coutinho's
I
over,
remember
that's 2.
Coutinho crying.
Look at the rejection by great Osibor.
I wasn't sure that. Okay, Coutinho.
That's 2.
Drafted.
And I'll give you another one. This guy played for a couple of different teams in the Western Conference in the NBA.
You got another ACC guy.
Oh, another ACC guy?
Yeah.
ACC guy, yeah.
I was going to say Ryan Bowen. I didn't know
Very
Ryan
good
Bowen
out of
was here.
Iowa as the basket is scored there to make it a 6-point game. Ryan Bowen, one of them, Zach Fremantle adding to his point total as he's now up to 15 in our game. The Xavier Ford, who's bounced back nicely from injury. So you got 3 down. That
Another
means he's got 4 more to
ACC
go.
guy.
Yep.
That was in my draft class.
You got Bowen, you got Mobley, and you got Lopez, and you got yourself. So
You got the ones I didn't think you would get, honestly.
I mean, Charles needs to call you as a lifeline when they do Who He Play For next time on Inside the NBA.
I don't know if Jelani McCoy was here.
That's a great guess, but incorrect. But you can guess again here.
All right.
When we run out, we'll give you the rest. So we got a couple of free throws coming out.
You said another ACC guy.
Mm-hmm. And
98.
And from a state
He
that
played
you
in the Western Conference too, right? Swingman type, if I remember right.
Yeah, a state that you know well too.
A team that's playing in tonight's play-in, if I'm not mistaken, as well. As it's Osibor at the line. First one is.
Oh yeah, you're right. Playing in the play-in, and a team. He played for a team that has 3 players here at the PIT.
That's a great one right there. That was his college team.
Greg Buckner.
From Clemson,
Oh,
look
yeah,
at that.
there it is.
Hence, you're great. They could get Berkeley.
You're on top of it, Shabbat.
Yeah, you forget about the guys that, because once you were drafted, a lot of times
I
you're on
don't
telephone
know that he'll
calls.
get the SEC guy or the guy that was drafted by the Lakers. The Lakers guy is more known than the SEC guy that was drafted by the Cavaliers.
Guy, I don't think. Well, was it?
They want to shout out one of our viewers out there in Hampton Roads
Cisse.
tuning in. Tracy Kofer, shout out to her watching. No, it wasn't Cisse. Good guess, though. It's an attack move and a couple of free throws coming now for Jonathan
And the guy
Pierre of Belmont.
drafted by LA. Played in LA. From the SEC, you said?
SEC was a second-round pick by the Cavaliers.
That's a tough one.
He was taken 14 picks after you.
Jonathan Pierre at the line.
At the line, we've got Pierre.
I'm gonna have to pass, gentlemen.
Pass. All right. It's a great try, though.
Well, tell me what school.
South Carolina.
He's from South Carolina. He played in South Carolina.
Yeah.
You give up.
No, Ryan Stack.
There you go.
Oh,
he got
man.
it, folks.
I just talked to him yesterday.
He got it.
Well,
Look at that.
I
You're down
talked
to
to him
one more.
2 days ago.
A guy
Ryan
who was
Stack.
drafted by the Lakers, but you don't think of him as playing for the Lakers. You think
What
he's
school
playing
did he
for
go
somebody
to?
Else. Cincinnati. You'll get it once we.
Ruben.
Ruben Patterson. Look
We
at
played
that.
together.
He went 100%.
But see, you know what's crazy? I didn't even know that they were here.
I didn't realize Ruben Patterson played in this.
Because I'm gonna tell you why. I was so focused on getting those guys back from South Carolina that's all I was focused on. Getting a chance to play against them. But Ruben, Ryan.
Ruben wore that headband well.
Yeah. Well, we played together in Seattle for 3 years.
Oh, look at the curl as Ace Baldwin finds R.J. Felton. It's Baldwin's 4th assist of the night, and for him in this tournament, his 15th, as Felton now is cooking again. 23 points on 9 of 11, shooting 5 of 5 from deep. All right, Sharon, I also got to know for you. That aha moment where you pinched yourself and realized, I'm playing in the NBA, and do you have a favorite NBA moment as we watch a guy hit a three-point shot from the corner with dreams of playing professionally, Jonathan Pierre of Belmont?
Yeah. I guess my aha moment was, born in New York and raised in South Carolina. I had never had an opportunity to play in Madison Square Garden. And the first time I ever got a chance to play in Madison Square, it was like I was back in New York. My family's there, and so I hung out with my family the whole afternoon. And as a second-year player, I wasn't playing a lot, and so I hung out all day in Harlem with my family. I went and bought me some Air Jordans, ones, high top. The dark blue and grays, were patented you were at Georgetown.
Oh, yeah.
So I went and got me some of those. I said, I'm going to wear these tonight. You know what I mean? And I ain't going to play much if I play. And so getting in the garden, I walked out there with those ones on. And, I'm a Pat Ewing fan. So Pat, looks and sees them. He was like, hey, man, those are the shoes I played in college. I said, yeah, I know. So I got them, you know what I mean? I was like, sign them after the game. You know what I mean? After the game. He was like, yeah, I signed them. So that right there, having a conversation with Pat Ewing was kind of like, wow. So to make a long story short, we get into the first quarter of the game, and Gary Payton gets kicked out the game.
Not surprising.
Yeah. And so when he gets kicked out the game, Paul Westphal says, Shimon, come on. And so I'm like, oh, the first quarter now, first time we hadn't touched, first quarter, long time. And so as I get in the game, I walk in and it's like, I'm looking around, it's like, man, I'm in the garden. I've been wanting this for a long time.
How long did it take you to notice Spike Lee as Sean Padula heads to the free throw line?
It didn't take long because it was time to show now at this point in time. And so, that game I ended up having like 29.
Oh, wow.
Not bad. MSG.
Like 8. And
that was your debut at the Garden?
It was my debut at the
wow.
Garden.
And, eat your heart out, Reggie and MJ.
Yeah, and Beast, Patrick Ewing's my guy, but he'll tell you, like in the second quarter, I beat Charlie and went down the middle of the lane, and I dunked it on him. And that's the one thing he always said, you dunked on me. What I say, well, I had a job to do, Beast. You know what I mean? I was enamored, but, that for me was my aha moment, having the chance to get my recognition in the garden. So
a guy who's the cousin of Kevin Garnett and also the godfather to Mitchell Robinson of the Knicks, who got a big series coming up against the Detroit Pistons.
Yes, he does. He got some work to do.
They do.
He got some work to do.
Be a fun NBA playoff coming up as a little
gotta shoot
move
that.
is going to be deflected as it's knocked out of bounds by Padula, 6-point game.
Yeah, hey, one thing that we've noticed this game, guys, is the fact that we've been talking a lot about R.J. Felton and his shooting ability, but what I've loved is his movement off the ball. He's been cutting a lot off the ball, and he's gotten the recipient of Ace Baldwin's several assists, but he's doing everything. I mean, he's taking shots. He hit a mid-range jumper earlier, showing his ability to score it at all three levels. He's really showing out.
He's a young man that has changed dramatically over 4 years, and I would say even within the last, watching him here isn't what most would thought that they would see from him in this environment. The consistent shooting. Not only he's doing it right now, he did it last night. And what he's showing is that, he's an individual that is continuing to get better. And so when you begin to evaluate these young men, you start saying, well, who has growth? R.J. Felton is showing that, I'm continuing to get better. I'm not the same individual that you just saw maybe a month and a half ago. And so, like you said, like you alluded to, James, his ability to knock shots down, like, you know the athlete, the competitor. Now you're beginning to use, he's a shooter as well. And so, he's helped his team out a great deal. If you watch it, like you said, watch him move. And the one thing that you have to take into account, too, with him shooting the basketball as well as he does, he's also defending. He
never stops.
There you go. Usually the guys that shoot the basketball really, really well, they aren't really concerned with defending. And so what he's been able to show, what I would take from watching him is he's defending extremely well at a high level, and he's consistently knocking down shots at a high level. So kudos to him. Hats off to him.
Portsmouth Partnership on top, 70-64 over K&D round. Jamal Williams, thank you so much for stopping by. Always a pleasure.
Guys, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I really, really appreciate it. It's always a pleasure.
More to come from the 71st annual PIT. Stay tuned.
A little shot here.
Welcome back to the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on WGNT 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
Fourth quarter here in our semifinals, the first of two on this Friday night from Churchland High School, the 71st annual Portsmouth Invitational Tournament. Portsmouth Partnership outscoring K&D Rounds 19-13 in that third period alongside James Blackburn. It's Matt Hatfield here with you as our ball game was deadlocked at 51 apiece at intermission, but 7 field goals from Portsmouth Partnership, including 3 from Ace Baldwin, who scored 10 points in that quarter alone to really spearhead Portsmouth Partnership's attack. He's got 12 on the night to go with 4 assists, a perfect 5 on 5 from the foul line to complement R.J. Felton's 23 points. And right on cue is a big shot maker, Sean Padula of Ole Miss with the tray ball. We thank former NBA guard and UNC great Shammond Williams, who was the ACC tournament MVP back in 1997 and a second-round draft choice in the Chicago Bulls in 1998, who played professionally in the NBA and Europe, for stopping by with us. A 72-67 lead now as Portsmouth Partnership adds to its lead. James with David Gasson scoring on an assist from Ace Baldwin, his 5th of the night.
Was that Kassan or was that Adu?
The feed here is telling me Gasson, but we'll get that clarified if it's a mistake here.
Okay.
I'm going to guess that it is indeed Adu, because it is backwards, so we'll probably correct that here in a moment.
Adu showed great body control too on that finish. Got hit and looked really good. Man,
the ball is trained as it's Padula.
He's taking a page out of R.J. Felton's book, and Padula's been letting him fly all week. He's another one that's just been hitting shots at an efficient rate from beyond the arc. First game he hit multiple threes, and now back-to-back threes here for his team that has now climbed within 1 possession.
So you see Baldwin getting a rest now on the bench. He's done a lot of work tonight and known for that defensive prowess for sure. You look in the stat sheet and you're going to always see him get steals. He has 1 tonight. Meshack has a couple.
I'm going to go ahead and predict it now, Matt, that we're going to get our first. Oh, there's an SLD right there. Shaq-like finish.
SLD. Shaq-like. Oh, SLF.
Or SLD, Shaq-like dunk. My mistake.
Right.
SLD.
Yes.
And, you know, we talked about him almost bringing the rims down. That one, the whole basket's still shaking.
There's a layup from Nolan Hickman as he goes off the window for 2.
But I was going to say, I'm going to go ahead and predict that we're going to get our first Elam ending here in this game.
For regulation. There's a 3-ball from straight away that's banged home. Zeke Mayo connecting from deep. He did a lot of that with Kansas and at South Dakota State. 320 made threes in his collegiate career. Here's a deep bomb from Hickman, and you can ring it up for Nolan Hickman, Gonzaga's finest, making it a 2-point game. This one has had no shortage of excitement as the third quarter lull with turnovers and sloppiness has been thrown away as we've had 14 ties tonight, 13 lead changes, and the action continues as we've got a couple of free throws coming for the guys in orange as Zeke Mayo attacks the rim.
Yeah, we only had 1 made 3 the whole third quarter between the 2 teams, and right now in the fourth quarter, this one's starting out like the second quarter was.
We've got a timeout on the floor as Dion Thompson, Chris Furman, and Jim Markey will talk it over with their K&D Rounds landscape crew, which trails it by 2 in the semifinals of our 71st annual PIT. And there is Paulo coming right into your living room. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on WGNT 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
Oh, the fun has just begun here from Churchland High School in Portsmouth on this Friday night, the 18th day of April, the year 2025. 2-point lead for Portsmouth Partnership against K&D Rounds. It's the 7th game out of 12. We've got one more tonight, which will feature Jenny King and Portsmouth Sports Club, both of whom were victorious on Thursday in a semifinal. Winner of this one gets the winner of that one tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Eastern for the championship of the 2025 PIT. And James, so far it's been great for R.J. Felton. He's one of 4 double-figure scores for Portsmouth Partnership with 23 points tonight to go with 6 rebounds. David Gasson quietly with a double-double of 11 points, 11 boards. And meanwhile, 4 double-figure scores for K&D Rounds as they've got 15 points from Zach Fremantle to lead away, 13 each for Nolan Hickman and Sean Padula. However, Padula and Fremantle with 5 fouls each. Keep an eye on that.
No, you only get 6, but we've been talking a lot about Baldwin and Felton and Padula. Zach Fremantle has had 2 really solid games here at the Portsmouth mat, and he's a guy that's kind of a do-it-all forward. He can score inside. He's got good touch. He even has a huge block there in the first half. And this game, I think, is going to come down to the guard play, though. The matchup between Padula and Baldwin. Both of the guys doing an excellent job of orchestrating the teams. Both of these guys right now are on the bench getting a little rest. I look to see them come in here as we get to crunch time in the 4th.
2 foul shots good from Mayo. Here's the wing 3 from K&D Rounds. It's off the mark from Pierre. They get another chance at it, though, as Jaden Akins, who had a key basket in that 3rd quarter stretch where things were starting to pick up after the sloppiness early on in the quarter. He loses the handle, and Umar Balo comes away with it for Portsmouth Partnership as the Indiana standout in the middle, who shot over 62% from the floor, makes a play on defense. 4-point lead for Portsmouth Partnership. They give it to R.J. Felton. Gets the screen from Balo. Crossover move, step back jumper. Oh, it's filthy, and it's good. Yeah, it can be filthy and good, folks. 6-point lead for Portsmouth Partnership. 3-point answer potentially. Akins won't get it to go, and the rebound comes to Portsmouth Partnership as they will slow things up behind Zeke Mayo.
Well, I mean, that's what the scouts knew that Felton could do, is score in the mid-range with the pull-up. He's really comfortable in that area. Not as comfortable in the 3-point line, but this week he's been showing that he could hit the 3 at effective rate. And right now he got to his bread and butter. That's his 2nd pull-up of this game. Good defense that time by K&D's, and now they're off on the run.
Here's an open 3, and Nate Santos uncorks a triple to make this a 3-point game.
He doesn't miss many of those. That's his game. Catch and shoot from 3. He got to his spot, and we have a tight contest right now, back to 1 possession.
Largest lead in this game was 8 for Portsmouth Partnership at 68-60 with 4:18 to go in the 3rd quarter. Here's the 3. It's no good for Matthew Cleveland. Rebounded by K&D Rounds as they navigate up the floor with Jaden Akins. His pull-up jumper's going to roll around and be off the mark. It will stay, though, with the guys in white. We want to welcome in the folks from NBA TV for tuning in as it's Portsmouth Partnership on top of K&D Rounds 81-78 alongside James Blackburn. It's Matt Hatfield here with you as the semifinals of the 71st Annual Portsmouth Invitational Tournament continues on. Tonight we have another semifinal forthcoming. 3-point shot for Akins is partially blocked. Rebound underneath as it's pulled in by Great Osibor. If you're just joining us, like those from NBA TV, are East Carolina's R.J. Felton with 25 points tonight for Portsmouth Partnership to lead the way. 15 for Zach Fremantle of Xavier for K&D Rounds. Down low in the post, Portsmouth Partnership with Great Osibor. They're doubled up over to Jemai Mashak. Pull-up jumper. It's switched home to beat the shot clock as it's a 5-point lead. The Tennessee Volunteers guard who helped Rick Barnes' team reach the Elite 8 each of the past 2 years, James, gets it done.
Yeah, that was a big shot. I mean, great defense that time by K&D Rounds and beat the end of the clock. And points are going to be hard to get these last 5 minutes.
Oh, count it, plus the foul for Belmont 6'9" forward Jonathan Pierre from Hollandale, Florida. Folks might remember Pierre started out played sparingly in one season at Memphis, and then he really upped the 3-point game, 73 of 198 from long distance for the Bruins of Belmont, and now he gets a chance at a 3-point play. That foul committed by Matthew Cleveland, his second personal. So at the line now it's Pierre, who tonight has 11 points. Make it 12 as the free throw is good.
And that's what makes him so intriguing to NBA scouts, the fact that he's a big wing, he's skilled, he could get to the basket, plays on the perimeter, could shoot it from the perimeter, and has great ball skills. That time showing the ability to get to the rim and get the old-fashioned three-point play.
Here's the attack with Ace Baldwin, who's had himself a nice tournament here in Portsmouth. 5 assists tonight after having 11 dimes in the first game. And there's an above-the-rim finish from great Osibor. When he does that, he's pretty great.
Well, great slip that time of the screen. And Ace Baldwin, that's what he does. Finds guys, plays the game simply, doesn't force anything, it just makes the right plays.
There's Osibor, who once played at Montana State and Utah State before landing in the Big Ten. Yes, the Big Ten for the Washington Huskies. 24 career double-doubles for him, 15 2 seasons ago at Utah State when he was the Mountain West Player of the Year. Matthew Cleveland being subbed out, and on the floor in orange for Portsmouth Partnership is David Gasson. He's a 6'9" forward from Kansas State who played previously at Virginia Tech, and Gasson makes the mistake of fouling a three-point shooter. Rather, that's going to be, looks like, was that Osibor rather, not Gasson that committed that foul.
Yeah, Osibor.
So beg your pardon, it's actually on Osibor. Padula will go to the line to shoot a three.
And that's not the guy you want to put on the line right now. Excellent free throw shooter. Really putting the team on his back right now and doing everything. He's a shot maker. He's a guy that can orchestrate the offense. He's been showing that this week, the ability to play the point guard position.
Padula had some big moments in his college career, first with the Hokies at Virginia Tech and then with Ole Miss. They held off that rally from North Carolina in the round of 64. I didn't want to bring it up to Shamon Williams, who joined us earlier, but he also had the game winner in the SEC tournament against Arkansas, and just 2 nights ago hit a couple of free throws to give his team the lead against Sales Systems. They coughed up a 23-point lead, and now he's trying to get K&D Rounds into Saturday night's championship game, and the last of his 3 free throws are good, so the fouls.
Yes, keep an eye on that.
5 each for Padula and Fremantle, but this could go down to the wire and perhaps be that Elam ending that we've talked about. There's a steal for Nate Santos. The Dayton Flyer gets it over to Padula. 1-point game, K&D Rounds trailing here as we approach 4 minutes to go in regulation, being guarded by Meshack. A couple of guys familiar with each other from the SEC. Left-handed dribble. Shot
Great physical defense right here.
Here's Santos falling away. His
tough shot.
R.J. Felton skies up for the rebound.
Yeah, great team defense that time. A lot of physical defenders here. Big physical wings, physical guards that get into the ball.
Chance from the crowd here in Portsmouth.
Good short roll and kick out.
That one won't go down if Fremantle gets the rebound. So a 1-point game, K&D Rounds have a chance to go in front again. We've had 14 ties and 13 lead changes. The one-handed missile pass. Corner 3 is drained. And what a find there as that one is knocked down by Clemson's Chase Hunter. What a good pass there. That was purely assist.
Great skip pass. And Chase Hunter is just really happy to see that one go down. He had been struggling. So he's a shot maker, though. Under the ball screen, leave Ace Baldwin wide open. Got lucky on that one.
Hunter gets the rebound as the Atlanta, Georgia native tosses it over to Padula. He hit the 3-minute mark of regulation.
Padula calls a set. Little horns action shown here. Oh, and a moving screen call, it looks like.
Goes back to Portsmouth Partnership in orange. And we've got a timeout on the floor. 2:55 to go. You're watching the 71st annual Portsmouth Invitational Tournament semifinals from Churchton High School in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Stay tuned for more. And we're back here at the Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament. You see the crowd enjoying the action on this Friday night for a semifinal contest. Alongside James Blackburn, it's Matt Hatfield here with you from this 71st installment of the PIT 87-85. As we went to the break, the sixth and final foul was committed on Xavier Zach Fremantle, so his night concludes with 2:55 to go. He ends up with 15 points on 7 of 8 from the floor with 4 rebounds. He gets his sixth and final foul. And if you're just joining us, and we give a shout out to those of you watching on NBA TV and through Prep Spin globally, as well as on WGNT TV in the Hampton Roads market, there's an Elam ending now for the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament that's relatively new as part of the game rules. So if the game is tied at the end of regulation, what does that mean, James?
Yeah, so what they do is they add 8 points to the score, and the first one that gets the 8 points wins. So they do away with the scoreboard, or do away with the clock, and it gets away from the fact that, you know, teams are going to foul on purpose and doing different things like they usually do, and you just got to get those 8 points. So first year that they've done that here at the PIT. Some leagues like the CBL and the TBT that debuted it do that now, so it's a really cool way to kind of throw in a wrench to the game and see the different strategies involved in it. But Fremantle fouling out, like you said, Matt, that's a huge story of this game with a lot of time left to play. 3 minutes, had 15 points, and was just a really consistent score for them down inside.
6 double-figure scores for K&D Rounds, and now it's Padula on the move.
No reason to rush right now if you're K&Ds.
They were down by as many as 8, but here they are rallying. Long-range shot won't go down. Rebound underneath by Great Osobor.
Good pass by Baldwin that time.
Padula's got it over to Nate Santos.
Little stagger on the weak side. Trying to free up the shooter and Hunter.
Santos gets it to Padula. Screen set by Jonas Adu. Padula falling away for 3. That one didn't get enough lift on it, and Meshack clears it out here as we hit under 2 minutes to go.
Got away. Yeah, they're going to call that foul. Yeah, he grabbed him.
But a couple of free throws coming for Ace Baldwin as the Baltimore, Maryland native from Penn State will get a chance to tie this puppy up with 1:51 to go.
Yeah, questionable shot that time by Padula on the other end. But Padula's a guy that's going to take tough shots that other guys might be scared to take. He's not going to be afraid of the moment. And he's a guy that's been leading them now for 2 games. Leads them in scoring this game with 16 points. Great 3-point shooter. 3 for 5 so far tonight.
Baldwin misses the first of a couple of free throws here. This one goes down to make it a 1-point margin. No field goals the last 2:51 here for Portsmouth Partnership, James. They're trying to get a hoop to really wrest momentum away from this K&D Rounds team that has calmed down behind Sean Padula.
I love the ball pressure, too, that time by Baldwin. Made the free throw and immediately just got up and pressured.
Hesitation move with Chase Hunter. It's going to be a turnover along the sideline. Try to do a little bit too much, and it goes back over to the fellas in orange for Portsmouth Partnership.
We'll give Great Osobor a lot of credit. Big fella came out, showed he could hard hedge on a ball screen, and forced the turnover.
So here it is with Meshack ready to inbound the basketball. Gets it from official Timothy Green.
And this is when you want to see here at PIT, Matt, is who's going to execute down the stretch when the game is tight.
Osobor with the spin move, and he'll draw the foul as he got bumped at the end by Jonas Adu. So 2 free throws coming up for the 6'8", 250-pound forward who hails from Bradford, England.
Yeah, showed a lot of agility on that move, and like you mentioned earlier, free throws is the question mark. He's 3 of 8 tonight, and he's got a chance now. Knocks them both down to give his team the lead back.
64.1% from the line in his college career. In this game, Portsmouth Partnership 15 of 23, including 7 of 10 this half. Meanwhile, K&D Rounds 10 of 12 from the stripe, a perfect 4 of 4 from the line in this quarter.
Hassabor's been really active. I'm almost surprised that he only has 11 points because he's done a good job of finishing inside, had a couple of big dunks.
You see the sweat pouring on his face. Adu picked up his 5th foul on that possession.
I'm not sure what the discussion is here. It might be a clock issue, Matt.
So the officials will head over to the table to get things corrected. Could be a foul issue as well, as they're also talking to one of the bookkeepers down there.
Yeah, one thing to keep an eye on is the foul count for K&D's right now. Padula with 5 fouls and also Adu with 5 fouls. And both of those guys are key contributors to this team, especially if we go to the Elam ending. That could be a real factor.
And early in this quarter, Zach Fremantle fouled out. If you're a new viewer to this PIT, each team with 8 players on the roster. As you see the scoreboard here at Churchland High School. Hassabor at the line. First one is knocked down.
He appreciated that extra rest time.
Some guys like a little more time to think about it, some don't. It can be sometimes at the foul line a little bit the same mentality of a golfer getting ready for a big putt.
Oh yeah, the mental game.
And
those look good. Those look really good. So
88-87 Portsmouth partnership, giving us our 15th lead change tonight. We've had 15 ties as well. Here's Jonathan Pierre, step back along the baseline. It's going to hit the side of the rim, get touched, and Hassabor looks to save it, but Pierre's the one that gets it. Padula for 3.
Oh!
Yes, it's good. Sean Padula changes the score again, 90-88.
he is not afraid of the moment at all. Huge shot.
To Baldwin. Do we have a buzzer beater finish?
We've got a lot of time left in this one. The guys just need to relax, get the best shot they can. Good kick out pass. Oh, take it away.
Steals it. 2-on-1 chance if he gives it up. He'll go right to the basket instead. He could have given it to Santos, but instead, Sean Padula putting his fingerprints at the end of this one. He's up to 21 points, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds.
2 errant passes this time.
Chase Hunter with the steal. K&D Rounds trying to burn some clock before eventually there's a foul, and it's committed by number 20 in orange, David Gasson. And just like that, K&D Rounds, which trailed for a few different instances in this game, they've led for only 8 minutes and 55 seconds. But here they are with a 4-point lead and a timeout on the floor. We've got the dramatic finish in store for you at the 71st Annual Portsmouth Invitational Tournament from Churchland High School.
Welcome back to the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on WGNT 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
As play resumes, Sean Padula is quickly wrapped up by Jemai Meshack as that foul will send the Ole Miss guard, 6'1" talent from Edmond, Oklahoma, Padula, to the line tonight where he is 5 of 5. He's got 21 points, James, on 6 of 10, shooting 4 of 6 from behind the arc. He's played through the 5 fouls. Nobody with more than 4 fouls as Meshack just got his 4th. He misses the first free throw, though, which leaves the door ajar for Portsmouth Partnership to extend this game with any type of make, a 2 or a 3.
Yeah, I mean, either way, it's a 2-possession game. Look for Portsmouth Partnership to push it down court really quickly and get a quick shot, whatever that is.
Second foul shot is good, and we have another timeout on the floor with 20.1 seconds, 20.1 seconds left in our semifinal. K&D rounds up by 5. We've got Jenny King's Portsmouth Sports Club still to come your way here from the PIT. We welcome you back to the 71st annual PIT. K&D Rounds trying to punch its ticket to Saturday's championship at 7 o'clock Eastern against the winner of Jenny King and Portsmouth Sports Club that will follow this contest at approximately 9 o'clock Eastern. We say approximately, but it'll be maybe closer to 9:30 Eastern, wherever you are tuning in. As we say hello to those of you watching, whether it be through Prep Spin, NBA TV, or on WGNT TV across the Hampton Roads market. Alongside James Blackburn, it's Matt Hatfield with you on the call of game number 7 out of 12 here at the 4-day-long Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament. 64 of the top college basketball seniors from around the country showcasing their talents in front of dozens of scouts, evaluators, general managers, and more.
Let's see what they drew up here out of the timeout. They're going to need to score fast.
Baldwin has it. Ace Baldwin, the Penn State guard with some burst, goes right to the hoop for 2. Nobody cut him off, and it's suddenly a 3-point game.
Nice play there
They don't
out of the
get to Padula,
timeout.
and the quick wrap-up as
That was a quick foul call, quick whistle.
Chase Hunter was doubled, and he got hit.
That was a really quick whistle in the corner. I don't think they wanted to foul that fast. They had a great trap. Who was it? Hunter was deep in the corner. Didn't really have any daylight.
It was Baldwin's second personal. So to the line now, Chase Hunter. Upped his three-point shooting from 31.3% a year ago to 40.7% this season. Now it's all about making free throws.
You make one, it's a 2-possession game, so.
Well, he made all but one of his 10 free throws in the NCAA tournament against McNeese State. That was a heartbreaking 69-67 loss for him a month ago. He's got 2 Clemson teammates in Victor Locke and Ian Shefflin also playing in this event. That second free throw no good though. Rebound, Kassan now up ahead. Can they hurry and get one? R.J. Felton falling away off the side of the backboard. They kick it back out. Zeke Mayo for 3. Yes, it's good with 1.7 seconds to go.
You got to foul fast.
Game. And a timeout is called. We'll keep it right here for the finish.
Good timeout. 1.7 seconds left. You're going to have to foul immediately on the catch. No time for a trap. And then once you do foul, whether they make 1 or 2 free throws, you're going to look for Portsmouth to call a timeout so they can advance the ball, of course. NBA rules can advance the ball on the timeout and set up a shot. So look for heavy pressure right here and guarding the inbounder. If you're K&Ds, you just got to get the ball in bounds and know that you could get fouled immediately.
16 lead changes, 15 ties in this basketball game where we've seen 41 assists on the 68 field goals. K&D Rounds with the 1-point lead as Sean Padula has really stepped it up with his 22 points tonight. And many of them have come in the second half, 17 in fact. If you watch Padula earlier in this quarter go right to the hoop, didn't give it up, and he got there for the deuce that right now is essentially the difference in the ballgame.
No, that was a huge one. I mean, the three before that was big, but also that two, and that came off of, Portsmouth only has 13 turnovers this game, Matt, but 2 of them came in the last minute. Those 2 were ultimately really costly, but give them a ton of credit with the huge 3 there that you see from Zeke Mayo, above 40% shooter from Kansas, big 3.
R.J. Felton has cooled off in the second half, just 6 points, 3 of 6 from the floor, 0 of 3 from 3. Remember, he hit his first 5 triples, and to begin this tournament, 9 of 11 from long distance. Just unconscious. Inbounding it with Pierre, long to Padula, and the heady, savvy guard from Ole Miss will take one as the horn sounds. His team a winner tonight, 94-93. 22 points and 6 dimes for him. He's one of 6 double-figure scores. Zach Fremantle with 15 before fouling out. R.J. Felton from East Carolina with 25 in defeat for Portsmouth Partnership. And Ace Baldwin with 15 points and 6 assists in defeat. So 5 o'clock third-place game for K&D Rounds. A 7 o'clock Eastern Championship game on Saturday for Portsmouth. Check that, 7 o'clock Eastern Championship for K&D Rounds on Saturday. A 5 o'clock third-place consolation game for Portsmouth Partnership. We've got one more semifinal to come. Jana King and Portsmouth Sports Club for a partner, James Blackburn. I'm Matthew Hatfield. Stick around. We've got more coverage coming from the 71st Annual PIT.